50, 45, there goes Davis. Oh my God! Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game. Auburn's going to win the football game. He ran the missed field goal back. He ran it back 109 yards. They're not going to keep him off the field tonight. Holy cow! Oh my God! Auburn wins. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl in the most unbelievable fashion you will ever see.
Oh, welcome in everyone to a brand new edition of the Dream Wager, episode 380. I am your host, D-Rock, and joining me as always is our NBA guru, my partner in crime, Elvis Acosta. E, how you doing today, kid?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. You know, it's kind of shitty weather. You know, it's been raining all day. We'll be raining tomorrow as well, so that sucks. But other than that, though, we're here. We're great. You know, exciting women's basketball last night in the Elite Eight. Still, let's just talk about
Yeah, I mean, it's a rainy day, a whole week actually here in the Northeast, but you know what they say, April showers brings May flowers. So we're going to have a lot of rain this month, but hopefully it brightens up into a nice May. But yeah, like Elvis said, we'll discuss women's Elite Eight. Clayton Clark is her. Oh my God. We'll talk about that. A little NFL news, NBA news as well. We'll talk about the 15 Wednesday slate for the MLB. Got a lot of plays for Wednesday. And then we got 9 games on the NBA slate as well. But Elvis, like you said, the Elite Eight last night, UConn defeated USC 80-73. Paige buckets, she went off, and we'll talk about the first game, Iowa and LSU. What a game. I mean, just the star power, the ratings that this game got between Angel Reese. It's a rematch of the finals last year. You know, the Angel Reese got the better of Caitlin Clark in Iowa, and then Iowa comes back and beats them. And I mean, just look at the stat lines. They could not guard her. 47-12. She's putting up grown man numbers against Angel Reese and a very physical, big LSU team. Thoughts on the game, kid?
Still, first of all, great game. You know, the fact that the game lived up to expectations, not even just lived up, kind of exceeded expectations, though, that's just something that goes there. So, first time I actually tuned in and watched, honestly, every minute of the women college game, Bill. So, won't be the last time because it was kind of exciting, Bill. So, I want to give credit to, you know, LSU, you know, for having a pretty good season, you know, especially in the first quarter, fighting back, you know, after starting real slow. Clayton Clark came out the gate on fire.
Yeah.
But I think the story of the night is Clayton Clark. Her performance last night, like you said, 47-12. She almost had a triple double, 7 assists. 12 assists, 7 boards. Led her team in rebounds with the 7, by the way. Though I told you we didn't speak about it on Monday's show, but I told you early on, I was like, I think LSU is gonna win just because they could dominate the boards. Look, you saw Angela Reed have 20. You have I forgot the other. I think Morrow. She had a ton of
14 too.
Exactly. So like they were just much bigger, and then you have Clayton Clark leading her team with 7. They lost on the boards, I think 50 something,
54-36,
and Iowa was able to win this game. Clayton Clark was just able to carry this team. To me, the fact that she was able to start the first quarter so strong, and it basically took over the game in the start of the second half and the third quarter, scoring the first 8 points for the team, and basically never looked back from there. So, gotta give her flowers. You know, she's just an amazing talent. To be honest, though, that might have been the best performance I ever seen in an NCAA tournament.
Granted, yeah. Men or women, and regardless if these are women or men, the performance that she put up last night is, no pun intended, elite. I mean, the way she opened the game, she was not missing, pulling up from 30 feet. I don't care if she's a woman or a kid. No, a man tried doing that. I guarantee you a lot of G Leaguers aren't doing that. And I know this is a hot take, but you and I were talking. She's better than some G Leaguers. She'll give some G Leaguers 20-25. I mean, they just can't guard her. I don't understand what LSU is doing going under a pick and roll. You do not go under the pick and roll with Caitlin Clark. She's just going to shoot it. There's too much space. And bringing up JJ Redick real quick because he made a stance on First Take that it's not really the defense in the NBA. It's so much that it's the spacing. There's just too much space that's given up. People are actually playing defense. It's the spacing. And I think LSU just gave up too much space, not just to Caitlin Clark as well. I mean, there are other performers. You had Kate Martin. She had 21. Sydney Alfter. She had 16. So there were other girls stepping it up, but Caitlin Clark, she's going to be the number 1 pick in the draft. She's the next Sue Bird. Her vision is incredible as well. The only thing I think she needs to work on, careless turnovers. Sometimes she did have 6 to 7 turnovers. And when she's driving, that little float game, I need to see a little float game. But other than that, her game is ridiculous. You could see what the hype is all about. And you can see why she's must-see TV. So she's the biggest star in college sports right now, men or women. I really don't care. And you could see. And then on the other side, it all went downhill when Angel Reese hurt her ankle midway through the second quarter, because I think after that, she went for like 2 for 11 from the field. She just couldn't find her rhythm. She was great on the boards. Like Elvis said, she had 20 boards. But other than that, they were physical with her. They went after her, and she just couldn't find a rhythm, and the game kind of changed as soon as Angel Reese got hurt.
Yeah, Dale. So the moment she rolled her ankle, she got out the game, and it was different than Angela Reese. Though they had the lead. I think it was a 35-31 lead coming back after going on like a 15-4 run, something like that, Dale. So you gotta give LSU credit for fighting back in the game, because it could have got ugly, especially in the first quarter, Dale. And like you said, it was a tale of two halves, especially with Angela. In the second half, I think she went like 2 for 12, 2 for 11. Didn't really do much, especially on the glass as well, though. She dominated, especially in the first quarter. She brought him back single handedly, with the putbacks and whatnot and the offensive rebounds. But at the end of the day, you gotta give her credit for the tremendous season she had. Especially in the first half when she was healthy, we saw how dominant she was, and she clearly wasn't the same girl after rolling her ankle.
No, but congrats to Iowa. They advanced to the Final Four, and then the later game in the night. What star power? You had Angel Reese, you had Caitlin Clark, and then the second game you had Paige Beckers taking on Juju Watkins, who they went toe for toe. Paige Beckers had 28, 10, and 6. Juju Watkins had 29, 10, and 2. I mean, the star power last night was incredible, Elvis. Paige Beckers, though, she gets the last laugh. Also, Aaliyah Edwards, she had a great game as well. 24 and 6 for the Huskies.
And she was efficient.
Efficient as well in 40 minutes of play. She only had 1 assist, but no worries there. It was mostly Paige and Aaliyah, but them two, they helped Huskies 23rd Final Four appearance for the Huskies. They get the job done. And you heard Gino, the coach for UConn, he did have some words for Juju and said, if she is contemplating whether coming back or going to the WNBA, go pro. I mean, at this point, you're going to be a top 5 pick, Juju. You're legit. Go get paid. You deserve it. I know a lot of people are questioning the same thing with Angel Reese. She hasn't made her decision yet, but she does have 1 more year of eligibility. We'll see if she comes out. I think Angel Reese would be a top 10, top 15 pick, but she comes back. She develops her game a little more. She could be a top 5 pick in next year's draft. So we'll see what Angel Reese does. But thoughts on the Huskies. They get the job done and go to their 23rd Final Four.
Yeah, it's kind of not shocking, but, the fact that Gino's back at it again, with Paige, it's kind of been a couple of years since UConn has been, on the map in women's college basketball once again. And the fact that he's doing it with Paige coming back, remember, let's not forget that crazy injury, her knee injury, and the fact that she's able to return and to be the superstar player that she once was, and now she is probably even better than she was 2 years ago, and putting UConn in this position, I think it's just great for the program, because especially when we were growing up, how dominant UConn women's program was, throughout the years from like 2005 to like 2015, they were just dominant. So the fact that Gino and the program is back at it again, it's just shows you how great of a coach he really is.
Now, do you think now with his comments, Gino, Ariana, Do you agree? Do you think Juju should go to the league? Because what does she have left to prove? I know she could come back and maybe get to a Final Four, maybe go for a national championship with USC, but they went 29-6. They had an amazing season. They were the number 1 seed in their bracket. And she broke the USC record for all-time points as a freshman for the university.
Still, to be honest, it all depends what NIL deal she gets. Because if it's comparable to the WNBA, you might as well just go straight to the league. But like an Angela Reese situation, look, she won't be winning the national title. Maybe Angela Reese got so much money because she was a national champion still. But if she's able to get the right NIL deals together that exceeds a WNBA contract, why not keep, playing for USC, get your education, and also get a bag while at it. So it all depends what offers she gets. She's gonna be a top 3, possibly a top 5 pick. Long if the NIL money makes sense, I'll stay. But if it don't, and you could make a couple extra, let's just say $500,000 or $1 million more in NBA yearly, why not?
Yeah, I don't know. It'd be very interesting. You had the girl from South Carolina, Camilla Cardesso. She's a beast. She's the center, 6'7" center. She's going to be a top 5 pick. You have the girl from Stanford, the other power forward. I think her name's Cameron Brink. She's probably going to be 2. We all know Caitlin Clark. She's going to the Indiana Fever. She's going to be the number 1 pick. Outside of that, like I said, I think the girl from Stanford could be the number 2 pick, Cameron Brink. Then it's kind of a toss-up. Camilla, she could be the 3. Then the girl from Tennessee who's going to come out. So I honestly don't know if Juju, but I don't know if she'll be a top 5 pick. That girl, Leah Edwards, she's from UConn. She's coming out. She could be a top 5 pick as well. So I honestly don't know. I truly don't know. She'll be a top 10 pick, but like you said, you got to see your options, weigh your options, see if, you can get some money with a big company and get that NIL money. Because if you do get a lot more than you'd get your first year in the WNBA, then, sticking. Yeah, why not? And go for another run.
And you get your associates at it,
Yeah. So 1-1 on the night. I did lay it with LSU. I agreed with you. I told you. I thought they were bigger, and they did. They dominated the board. They just fell short. Those second and third quarter where they went on that rut for not scoring for 3-4 minutes really hurt them. And you can't do that against a team like Iowa, who just could score at will. And then I laid it with UConn, and they did come out victorious, and they laid the 3.5. So 1-1 on the day. How did you do with the women's Elite Eight?
Yeah, I went with LSU deal and I lost. So I saw we went 0-1. Didn't touch the UConn USC game just because I don't really dabble in it like that. Thank God. Honestly, I would have won because I would have took UConn in the situation, but LSU let me down though.
Now, are you rooting for 2 number 1s to go at it? Because look, the NC State is taking on South Carolina. South Carolina is ridiculous. And then you got UConn taking on Iowa. UConn's men and women are both in the Final Four. And so is NC State, men's and women. So who you got in the Final Four for the women?
All I'm gonna say is one thing. I'm not gonna really answer your question though. I'm gonna just say this. In 2004, the National Women and Men's Championship was won by UConn. In 2014, the national men's and women's championship were won by UConn. Could it be 3 decades straight where a UConn men's and women's team win championships in the 4 years? 2004, 2014, 2024. That's just, I don't know.
That's special.
That's special, and the fact that it's aligning the way it is right now, both in the, like you said, both in the Final Four, both have shots. UConn men's are the favorite to win it all, at just over 40%. Yeah. I give UConn women a shot as well.
Yeah, let me get the odds because you did mention the men's who's favored to win. Well, we have lines for the game, right? South Carolina's 11.5 point favorite against the Wolfpack.
They're blowing everybody out.
Yeah, they have been. And Iowa short favorites against UConn. Clayton Clark minus 2.5. But right now, South Carolina to win is minus 195. Iowa plus 300. UConn plus 600. And North Carolina State plus 16. I would take a little sprinkle with UConn plus 600 just because I think they're going to beat Caitlin Clark. I think just the experience that everyone has. And I think they're going to be able to not shut her down, because you really can't shut down Caitlin Clark, but I think they could limit her and, keep her within that 25-point range. If they do that, I think they have a good chance of winning. And I do think it's a class collision for South Carolina to ultimately, get back to the national championship. But we'll have picks for the women's Final Four on Friday's show. But yeah, it was amazing to watch that when, nothing really was on besides baseball last night. Let's head on over to the gridiron. We had some news in the NFL as well. Carson Wentz, in the middle of the night, signs a one-year deal to be the backup for the Kansas City Chiefs. He's going to be backing up, obviously, Patrick Mahomes, replacing Blaine Garrett as their backup. I like the move. My question to you is, do you think eventually down the road he can become a starter in the league?
Still, let's not forget, when Carson Wentz is right with the right system, his ceiling is pretty high. Let's not forget, people, in the 2017 year, I said 13. In 2017, Carson Wentz had his team 11-2, 10-2. Yeah. Was the favorite to win the MVP. Brady was able to stake him out. He ended up tearing his ACL against the Rams. But still, the thing about Carson Wentz is, honestly, he has all the intangibles. He's 6'4", 6'5". He's a little mobile. He has a great arm. It's just can he overthrow you a lot? Yes. Can he underthrow you a lot? Is he going to throw a couple picks? Is he going to turn the ball over with the fumbles and whatnot? Absolutely. But he has everything you would want in your franchise quarterback. He's just not as consistent as he once was. Still, do I think he could be a starter? In the right situation, yes, still, just because if you give him a good defense, a solid defense, a good running game, Carson Wentz can still throw 200 plus, couple of touchdowns. He will turn the ball over, but he's still a solid quarterback. Is he a top 32 quarterback? For your answer, I'm gonna say yes. I think he's a top 32 talent for sure.
Yeah, I like the move. There's a lot you could learn, obviously, from the best in the world, and Patrick Mahomes being under Andy Reid for a season as well. I think this is the environment, like you said, he needed to be in. You saw him thrive in his first, 4 or 5 years in Philadelphia, where he was doing good. He was leading the league in the odds to become MVP until he hurt himself. And then after 2020, he gets traded to Indianapolis. He starts 17 games there. He throws for 3,563 yards, 27 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. Then he goes to an organization where I don't think it was the best fit for him in Washington. He started 8 games. Had a lot of interceptions. He had a lot of fumbles. His QBR was the worst it's ever been at 34.4 in his career. And then he only started 2 games for the hurt Matthew Stafford in Los Angeles. I do eventually think he can be. And, God forbid, knock on wood, we don't wish injury upon anyone. But God forbid Patrick Mahomes does have to sit. You saw how the backup for him in the playoff game where he led him into halftime. Chad Henne led him down the field. So in the right system, I think Carson Wentz can kind of do the same things as Chad Henne. And no disrespect to Chad Henne, but Carson Wentz is more athletic than Chad Henne, and I think can be a little better as the backup role. God forbid something does happen to Patrick Mahomes.
Still, Carson Wentz is more athletic than a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL. Like you said, the fact that we really know Patrick Mahomes is the guy. No ifs, ands, or buts. But the fact that Carson Wentz could develop and learn things from Andy Reid. And let's just say Patrick Mahomes. Let's just say he could learn things from Andy Reid. He could take some of that coaching, some of the development he will get in this year, take that somewhere else next year and possibly do something, Dill. So honestly, Dill, Patrick Mahomes never really got hurt besides his second year when he did that QB sneak against Denver or Buffalo, and he was hurt for like 4 or 5 weeks, and he dislocated his kneecap.
They've never done that again, though.
Patrick Mahomes haven't done a QB sneak.
He'll never do it again.
He would never do it. He'll just drop back and just rush up the middle.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a QB draw. He's not sneaking the ball. So, but realistically, though, other than that, weird. I'm gonna say that's a weird injury because not too many quarterbacks get injured like that, especially during a QB sneak at the goal line. Patrick Mahomes hasn't missed time. Or besides that playoff game in the first half with his ankle and then dislocating his kneecap, Carson Wentz just gonna most likely just sit it out, maybe take a couple knees and end a few games, during a blowout. But I just feel like he could just grow as a player and as a man under Andy Reid in this offense.
And he could learn a lot, developing, reading defenses. You could learn a lot from Andy Reid, who's been around this league for years. So, no, I do think it's a great signing. This leaves me the question with Zach Wilson now. And the reason I'm tying it back to Zach Wilson, because, Carson Wentz, he lands in Kansas City. Every team has at least one experienced backup. Roster opportunities are kind of dwindling down for Zach Wilson. Teams with only 2 quarterbacks on its roster. Cincinnati, Denver, I think they're going to draft a quarterback. Chicago, we all know they're drafting a quarterback. Atlanta, Carolina, and Seattle. The Jets obviously want to trade him, but they won't release him, according to Woody Johnson, our owner. So it's hard to imagine a team bringing him into camp. It's a fascinating situation. So, like, out of the teams, do you not see him finding a home?
Realistically, though, it got to be the right situation. I think the best situation for Zach Wilson is right where he's at, being the third string for the New York Jets.
That's a tough look, though, for a guy drafted number 2 overall. Like, it does something to your ego.
I understand, Dill, but look at that whole draft.
I know.
Look at
They're
Trey
all
Lance.
bust.
He's been a third string for 2 years now.
Besides Trevor Lawrence. We can make the argument Trevor Lawrence kind of regressed.
Justin Fields already been traded. Mac Jones already on a different team. If you ask me, Zach Wilson is doing all right. So.
Yeah. or the Jets are just delusional.
Or the Jets are just, it was like, well, we wasted too much on him. We're just gonna ride it out. But at the end of the day, Dill, I think it has to be the right fit. If I'm gonna take a chance on Zach Wilson, let's just say for a 5th round pick, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm like Carolina, even if I'm like Houston, just because they got similar play styles, him and CJ, I'm not saying he's CJ Stroud. All I'm saying is you don't have to switch up the game plan / playbook from CJ to Zach Wilson. That's all I'm saying. They could do very similar things. To me, he has to go to the right situation like that. Maybe the Colts, because Zach Wilson's athletic. It's going to be similar offense. Look what Philadelphia did. I just feel like Dill, in the right situation, he could do something. If you put him for example, you put him on a team like the Giants, he's not going to be successful. You gotta put him in the right situation where he can take off. Look at Gardner Minshew last year. He was pretty successful just because he was in the right situation. One of the best offensive lines of football. Pretty good running game. Pretty good wide receiver core. Pretty good coach. So all those things gotta align, Dill. So I hope Zach Wilson finds the right spot, Dill. But to be frank, you're a Jets fan. You're not gonna get nothing for him.
Yeah, and I just want to Taylor ham, egg, and cheese, honestly, for him at this point. I don't even need a pick. Just get him away. I think he needs a fresh start. I understand what you're saying. It's good to sit behind Aaron Rodgers, even a experienced backup like Tyrod Taylor, who's been around the league and who's been around different teams. You can learn a lot from a guy like him. One team that I mentioned, Atlanta Falcons, we just got literally breaking news. Taylor Heineke will remain with Atlanta Falcons. He will be the backup to Kirk Cousins, but he is taking a pay decrease according to his manager. He was expected to make $5 million this year, but they cut him to $1.32 million with the roster signing bonus. So yeah, he's going to be their backup. Do you like him staying in Atlanta, backing up Kirk Cousins?
Me personally, I like Taylor Heineke. We know he's not a starter. We saw what he was able to do with Washington in that playoff run. He looked all right. I'm not gonna say outplayed Brady, but he went head to head. Yeah. So you gotta give him that. But other than that, though, is Taylor Heineke better than Desmond Ridder? Is he better than what was available? If I was Atlanta, I would have personally sent the 5th round pick for Justin Fields. I'd rather have Justin Fields than Taylor Heineke, but hey, that's just me. I'm not part of the management. If you want me, You know where to find me. But Tyler Heineke is solid, but still, to back up Kirk Cousins coming off of ACL, I'd rather have something a little better. Personally.
No, I agree. But for what you could get for Tyler Heineke, and you're
it's a
getting him at a
deal.
discounted rate, it's a 1.32 million.
And you already
It's
knows
nothing.
the offense, even though, Raheem Morris is coming in, it's still going to be, kind of the same ideal.
And as much as I tried to back and defend Desmond Ridder all last season, he's
I try to tell you.
Taylor Heineke is better than him. Not by a lot, but
Not
he is
much,
better.
But he is better.
But he is better. Let's go back to the Chiefs though, because we do have a running back, free agent J.K. Dobbins. He's currently visiting the Kansas City Chiefs right now. And according to a source close to Adam Schefter, he said, quote, Ravens star running back J.K. Dobbins is expected to have a home very soon. Do you like him possibly signing with the Chiefs? Obviously he's been injured. He only played that one game last year against the Texans, but since coming into the league 2020, he played 15 games. 2022, he played 8 games. And then obviously last year, he only played that one game. The running back room, you have Isaiah Pacheco and you have LaMichael Pirine. I think he's better than LaMichael Pirine, but it's the injury. It's the unknown with JK. If he is healthy, he's a great number 2, and I think he could split some time with Pacheco. But my problem is, can you really rely on JK coming off an Achilles injury? It's not like, you broke a wrist or something.
Put like this, though. For the Kansas City Chiefs, I like the move just because it's the upside. You really know, like with the Carson Wentz thing, we already know Isaiah Pacheco is RB1. He's RB1 and 2.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest. I'm pretty sure they'll probably get a ticket for J.K. McKinnon out there. He's always a threat in the backfield for them. I guarantee he'll be on the roster come training day as well. So I like this move if they're able to sign just because we know J.K. Dobbins will be RB1. And hey, if he could just get some touches, he'll help the Chiefs out, though. If I'm J.K. Dobbins, I'm not trying to rush back. I'm trying to be a limited snap count. If I'm J.K. Dobbins, I'm trying to complete this season. And have just a decent, healthy season, and then see what I could get on the open market next year. If I'm the Chiefs, I'm trying to get this deal done just because we already know what Isaiah Pacheco is. He's our RB1/RB2 option, and with J.K. Dobbins, he's just a sprinkle on top. If he's healthy, he's able to put in numbers and put in great value as just off the backfield blocking, catching the ball as well. J.K. Dobbins could do much more things than Isaiah Pacheco do. Isaiah Pacheco just runs the ball really hard, gets you those hard first down. My man J.K. Dobbins can break it down. He can honestly upgrade the RB room as well. So I think it'll be a great signing just because you won't need him as an RB1. The Ravens, they was using him as an RB1. Some of the teams will use him as an RB1. And as of right now, J.K. Dobbins in an RB1.
And you mentioned going into a good system. I think this system fits perfect for him because he doesn't have to do too much. He'll be a third down back. You get Isaiah Pacheco first and second down, give him a breather. And then on the goal line, you could use JK's a big fucking kid. What is he? I think he's 6.
Yeah, but I don't have it in front. Isaiah. You're still gonna give it to Isaiah because
he earned that
right. He earned that right. 2-time
champ but sometimes you use a guy so much in a drive, you give it to a guy like JK, like a Zeke Elliott that could push it through.
I agree with you. That's what I'm saying. That's why I like him in this situation, just because he won't be the number 1 option. He'll get his touches. He just won't be, getting 200 plus touches a year. I want J.K. Dobbins to play all 17, Dill. And I think the best case to do that is for him to get, second string touches. I'm not saying he's a second string running back. He just needs to get second string touches, just so he can make it through.
Jared McKinnon is also a free agent, so he is not on the roster right now. We don't know if he'll bring him back. And I don't think he will be back if JK signs with them. I don't think they have Michael Pirine as their third string on their roster website. So we'll see what they do. I do like the move if he does wind up signing with the Chiefs, but I just wanted to talk about that. Very sad news though. In the NFL, former NFL cornerback Vontae Davis was unfortunately found dead Monday at his residence in South Florida. Police confirmed. He was so sad. He was only 35 years old. So just wanted to wish his family, friends, loved ones, just, some peace, and and this whole league is just thinking about Vontae and his family. So very unfortunate news. No one knows how it happened, so don't want to speculate and wait until all the facts come out. But I remember Vontae Davis playing in the league, especially corner with the Miami Dolphins. So very sad news in the Davis family.
Yeah, though, prayers out to the Davis family. It just sucks when a situation like this occurs. He's still a young man. He probably got kids, probably, working as a coach or something like that, mentoring young bulls all around. It just sucks that Davis was found like that. So just thoughts and prayers to his family. Just such a young man. It just sucks, man.
Yeah, no, it's very unfortunate. But on a good note in the NFL, Elvis, we are in draft month. We are about 20 something days away from the NFL draft. Yeah, 21 days. So we'll make sure we have our NFL prop bets up in the coming weeks. But yeah, this month is locked and loaded. Got NBA playoffs. You got the Masters. We got WrestleMania this weekend too, right there, the Lincoln Financial. But we got everything
bet on it, right?
Yeah, offshore accounts. We also got UFC 300 next week. It's a locked and loaded month. Yeah, it's a zoo. So before we get into the plays for the MLB and the NBA, a quick word from our sponsor. We are brought to you by Viva Tequila Seltzer, the most refreshing hard seltzer on the market, hands down. There's no wonder why Viva was voted #1 hard seltzer in the world by San Francisco World Spirit Competition. With only 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and a light 4.5 ABV, Viva is the perfect drink for your post-game celebration, as it was created with that active lifestyle in mind. We flavor tequila seltzer because flavor is the spice of life, and we like our drinks with just a kick, just like how we like our lives. Whether it's Huckleberry playing a round of golf with the boys, or me having an elderberry at the Devils game, it doesn't matter. Our favorites pair perfectly with that Artisanal Blanco tequila for that subtle and refreshing drink. Our belief here at the Dream Wager and at Viva is to live long, live well, and live it up. All right, kid, let's get to this MLB slate for Wednesday. Like I said, 15 games on the slate. And let's start with this first game. 1 o'clock slate. I love day baseball. Just FYI, I love how we could watch have some games on in the day up until 7 o'clock, all the way till 10 o'clock at night. This is why I love baseball so much. But 1 o'clock in Baltimore, the Orioles are hosting the Kansas City Royals. Cole Reagan's going for the Royals. Corbin Burns making a second start for the Orioles. -166 for the O's. -1.5 is at +130. Over under is at 7.5. Any action here for you, kid?
I want to take the O's on the money line, but it's a little chalky at -150. If anything, parlay, I'm tempted to lay the run line at +130, but I'm just staying away. The run line -130 is very, very tempting. Still, that's all I'm gonna say.
I mean, they are 3-1 on against the number ATS on the run line, and the only game they didn't cover is the game they lost outright. But every time they've won, they've covered this run line. Even in extra innings yesterday, they covered 13-4, 11-3, 8-3, 6-4. So when they are winning, they are covering by the run line. So I got +130. I got +145 on the run line. I mean, it's worth a sprinkle with how they're winning. If they're going to win, it's going to be by the run line. So I'm going to take the O's on the run line as my first play. Let's go to another 1 o'clock game. Cincinnati Reds, dog of the day last pod. They wound up beating Christopher Sanchez and the Phillies. Now Zach Wheeler going for the Phillies against Frankie Montas. -180 for the Phillies at home. +152 for the Cincinnati Reds. Over under is at 7.5. Can the Reds do it again, kid? What do you got for this one?
I doubt it, Dill. With Wheeler on the mound, I expect him to shut it. Maybe not shut it down, Dill, but I'm gonna lean the over, Dill. 7.5. I feel like Frankie Montas is on the mound. He has a good chance of getting smoked. He does be having good outings, but in Philly, Dill, those bats gotta wake up eventually. So I'm gonna lean the over 7.5. I feel it's a little short. Even though Wheeler's on the mound for Philadelphia, I still lean the over.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. That's my play, the over. Both teams are 4-0 towards the over. They're just putting up runs. You got 16-mile-an-hour winds blowing out. It's going to be a cold day in Citizens Bank Park. It is going to be rainy, but 7.5 is just too small. 6-3 yesterday between the teams. Cincinnati 6-5, 6-7, 8-2. They're just in a lot of high scoring games. So is the Phillies 5-4, 4-12, 9-3. They're just in a lot of high scoring games. I think that does continue. So yeah, I think the number is extremely short. So over 7.5 is the play for me. Let's go out to Milwaukee. Undefeated Milwaukee Brewers hosting the Minnesota Twins. I forgot his name. Is it Joe Ross? Yes, Joe Ross taking on Chris Paddock. Kind of a pick 'em right now. 108 both ways for the Twins and Milwaukee. I guess the Twins are the favorite because they have the -1.5 is at +152. Over under is at 8.5. Can the Brewers stay undefeated, kid?
Still, give me Chris Paddock on the mound with the Minnesota Twins. Still, give me the -108 on the money line. I just think Minnesota's the better team. Can Milwaukee stay undefeated? There, absolutely. Will they? I don't know. John Ross, you got more faith than Joe Ross. You got more faith in him than me. I'm gonna go with Chris Paddock. Though. I'm gonna go with Chris Paddock on the road.
Yeah, I'm going to go other side. I'm going to take the Brewers. I think they stay hot. I think their pitching, their bullpen has been really good, and they're putting up some runs. Yes, they played the poverty franchise, the Mets last season. No, they are. They're poverty. Their coach already got suspended. They're bad. We're not going to talk about this because we already did, and you lost money taking the Mets. Yeah, but the Twins, if they don't put up runs, I have a hard time being confident in them, 5-1, 4-1, cool. But then they got blown out by the Royals 11-0. They couldn't even put a run together. So I worry about the offense going dead. And if it turns into a shootout, the Brewers are going to win. So I'm going to take the Brewers -108. Let's go to the next game. I'm trying to see the time. I guess the next game technically is the Red Sox and the Athletics. Red Sox -142 on the money line. Oakland Athletics +124. Over under is at 8.5. Nick Pivetta going for the Red Sox and Ross Stripling going for the Athletics. You taking your boys, kid?
I'm running with the Red Sox. Pivetta had such a great outing his first start of the season. I have to go right back with it, though. -140. I got -142. I still love the -148. If it gets anything like above like 160, I would stay away, Dill. So I like it. I like the Red Sox. And Dill, we started hot yesterday. I think we scored 8 runs in the first 3 innings yesterday. I highly doubt we duplicate that performance today. Well, tomorrow, but Dill, I just feel like with Pivetta on the mound, we'll handle business. Give me the Red Sox on the money line, -142, -140.
Yeah, I got -140 a little earlier in the day, so I took amazing odds, and I love how you said -160 is kind of like the boiling point, and I would agree. I wouldn't go past -160 because at that point, I think you're starting to see some value on the Athletics. Yeah, I think this is a good series. I love Nick Pivetta. I think the Red Sox, just their bats have been really good so far. They put up 9 runs. They played a really good series. I know they split it 2-2 with the Mariners, but 5-1, 3-4, and they won 6-4 on opening day. Their bats have been relatively decent so far, so I do think they'll be able to get to Ross Stripling. So I agree. I'm going to take the Red Sox here. Let's go to the desert. 3:40 start time. The Diamondbacks are hosting the New York Yankees. Merrill Kelly going for the D-backs. Carlos Rodon going for the Yankees. Yankees road favorites -112, -102 for the Diamondbacks home dogs. Over under is at 9. Yankees 5-0. They win again. Can they finally lose?
Still. I gotta give them credit. They're looking really good, though. They're looking really good. With that being said, though, with the pitchers on the mound, give me the under 9 at -125. It's a little juice for a reason, people. You're getting plus money on the over. I just feel like with the pitching staff, don't get me wrong. Can Juan Soto and the Yankees put up a ton of runs? Absolutely, Dill. But I just feel like in this pitching matchup, the pitcher's going to do most of the talking. The lines represent it. So give me the under 9. I think there's a pitcher's ballpark as well.
Yeah, no opinion on the total. I think I would say the total's kind of spot on, but I'm gonna continue to fade them, and it might be might be the nightmare of me that keeps haunting me, but I'm going to continue to back the Diamondbacks. I think they have the advantage with Merrill Kelly at home. How good was Merrill Kelly last year at home? And we continued to back him. He was one of the best pitchers in the National League last year. I think eventually they come down to earth. Juan Soto, Giancarlo Stanton. I think eventually they start to come down to earth. They don't strike out a lot. They don't really steal, but they get on base. They're very patient at the plate, the Yankees. So if Merrill Kelly could keep the walks down, I think they'll be live. So I'm gonna take the -102 with the Snakes here at home. Let's go to the next game, and it'll be a 4:10 start between the Padres and the Cardinals. Joe Musgrove going for the Padres. Zach Thompson going for the Cardinals. Padres home favorites -148, +126 for the Cardinals. Over under is at 8.5. I took the Cardinals, kid. I got it a little early. I got +135. I think I just saw some value in them. The Cardinals, they haven't been the best, but they did win yesterday. They beat the Padres, and when their pitching is on and their hitting is on, and they're able to score some runs, I think they can hang with some teams. So we saw them play a kind of, besides opening day, I thought they played a very competitive series against the Dodgers. They lost 6-3, they won 6-5, and then they lost Sunday Night Baseball 4-5 on a walk-off home run. So they were competitive in that series, and then a very good lineup and a good team in the Padres. And the Padres are very up and down. If they're not scoring 8 to 7 runs, they're not really winning these games. They're not winning close games. So if they could make this an ugly game where it's a close game, I think the value is with the Cardinals. So +130, +126, whatever you're able to get. I'm going to take a shot here with the Dogs, kid. What about you?
Yeah, I like everything you said, to be honest, but I think Musgrove has a bounce back game. He got lit up his first start. I think he bounces back at home. He settles down. Give me the Padres -148 on the money line. This is another one where I say don't get past -160. I feel like this is great value, especially at home. I think Musgrove. I keep saying Musgrove. He bounces back. Give me the money line -148 with San Diego.
All right, another 4:10 start. We'll go out to the Pacific Northwest. The Seattle Mariners hosting the Cleveland Indians. Who's going for the Mariners? George Kirby going for the Mariners. Logan Allen going for the Indians. -162 for the Mariners, +136 for the Indians. Over under is at 8. This is another one. I know I'm a big low-key. I'm like a Mariner fan, but I got to take the Indians here. I think the value is with Logan Allen and the Guardians. I think if they make this an ugly game, Seattle was able to sneak out a win on Monday, 5-4, but they were up 5-0, and they kind of let Cleveland come back into this game. So bullpen hasn't been the best. They've lost 2 in a row right now, the Indians, but if their bats wake up and they're able to get to George Kirby, I think they could win this game. So I'm going to take a shot with another dog. Give me the Indians +136. What do you got?
I love the energy you're giving out right now, taking these dogs. I got no opinion in this game. It's a stay away from me, Dill. So let's just move on.
All right. I skipped 2 1:00 games. It's because I didn't have action on them, but we'll talk about it. Let's go backwards. Tampa Bay Rays hosting the Texas Rangers. Rays -122 favorite with Aaron Savali on the mound. Rangers are throwing Nathan Eovaldi +108. Over under is at 8.5. Think the total I think it's very sharp. I think 8.5 is a good number. Gun to my head, I keep trying to back the Tampa Bay Rays, but they keep fucking me, if I'm being honest. So I feel like we're getting a short number here, but I think the books are trying to bait us into taking the Rays. And if this turns into a shootout, I don't think the Tampa Bay Rays have the bats to compete with Texas. Unfortunately, Josh Dung did break his wrist yesterday. So he'll be out for a little bit. They are calling up their number 5 prospect to play third base for a couple months, but still think they have one of the best lineups. If anything, gun to my head, I would take the dog again. I would take the Rangers +108.
Dill, that's where I'm going. Give me the Texas Rangers +108 on the money line, Dill. I got to take the boy Navaldi. Dill, like you said, I'm not loving what I'm seeing for Tampa Bay right now. I'm not saying fade them. All I'm saying is I just think the Rangers are playing at a better level right now. So give me the Texas Rangers on the road plus 108 with the Wild D on the mound.
All right. Another 1:00 game. No action for me here, but the defeated Marlins, they still haven't won a game. AJ Puke is on the mound for the Fish. Patrick Sandoval going for the Halos. Short favorites at home, the Fish minus 108. Short dogs on the road, minus 105 for the Halos. Over under is at 9 plus money towards the over. Don't know about that. It's a pitcher's ballpark, Miami. So you do a lot of. I mean, they're not able to score some runs. 4-7, 2-7. I kind of would take the under if gun to my head, but both pitchers, they got rocked. So I understand why the number is at 9. Eventually, the Fish have to win a game like the Mets, but I don't know if it's tomorrow. It's a total stay away from me. I have no real feel on the side or the total, kid.
Yeah, they'll same. When both pitchers get lit up like that opening week, you just gotta stay away and see who bounces back. So, like you said, you staying away, I'm staying away as well. Gotta lean the under just because.
Yeah,
I don't trust the Angels back besides Mike, and then with Miami, they're due. It's just when, So, gotta lean the under minus 125.
I don't know if you saw yesterday, but Mike Trout hit a ball that's still going. That shit was ridiculous. It was a moonshot, 473 feet. It was a 2-run shot, but I mean, Elvis, you play baseball. As soon as the ball touched the bat, that ball was fucking God. Oh my God, it was amazing. We have a game between the White Sox and the Braves. No lines up yet. I do see pitchers though, so I really don't know if we'll see lines. Probably the Braves team totals, but yeah, I do see pitchers here for the Braves and the White Sox. It's Spencer Strider should be going for the Braves, and Nick Nasserini will be going for the White Sox. So no lines up here for this, but you got to imagine the Braves are going to be like a 2-1 favorite. Something along those lines. So something big. Let's go to the nation's capital. Washington Nationals going up against the 5-0 Pittsburgh Pirates. Good call on Monday with the Pirates. I don't know why I fucking bet on the Nationals. Mitch Keller going for the Buccos. Trevor Williams going for the Nationals. Pirates minus 148 on the money line, plus 130 for Trevor Williams and the Nationals. Over under is at 9. Give me the Nationals again. I must be on some drugs, but I'm going to take the Nationals again. I just think, yes, Pirates playing fantastic. I think that young lineup, they are going to be very good in about a year or two. Wait till these guys get some more experience and more game time. They're going to be really good, led by O'Neal Cruz. They gotta improve their pitching a little bit, but for right now, yes, it helps that they played the White Sox and no, they played the Marlins and they're playing the Nationals. So that helps that they're 5-0. But this is going to be a competitive team. Yes, they should be the favorite, but minus 148. Don't love that. I think the value's kind of gone with them. And plus 136 for the home Nationals, who, have lost 4 of their last 5. I think they're due for 1. Their bats have been okay. They've been able to score some runs. 7, 5, 4. If their pitching is good and Trevor Williams is on, I think they're going to be live tomorrow at home. So at plus 136, I got to go with the value. Give me the Nationals.
Yeah, this is another one. I kind of want to roll with the Pirates, but do I trust the Pirates to lay minus 148 on the road, even though it's the Nationals? I don't know, people. If anything, for shits and giggles, put them in a parlay, but I'm not taking them official come tomorrow.
All right. 3 more games. Let's go out to Wrigley Field. The under on that 7 on Monday came through for us. Oh, what a performance Ingmata had, the Japanese player. 9 strikeouts in his debut. He was on fire. Let's go to the Rockies and the Cubs. No lines up yet, obviously, because of Wrigley Field. I don't know who's going for the Cubs either. There's no bullpen. Probably a bullpen game. There's no pitcher listed for the Cubs, which is probably why there's no lines. Colorado Rockies are throwing Cal Quantrill. Let's see the weather. It's going to be a very cold day in Wrigley, 35 degrees. You have 12-mile-an-hour winds blowing out. So I don't know. It all depends on who the Cubs throw, but the Cubs should be a heavy favorite, I would imagine, against a very bad Colorado team. So, yeah, no lines out yet. So, if anything, just check our action if we have a play there. Two more games. Let's go out to Houston. They're finally, and they didn't just get the win. They got a combined no hit.
Yeah. Come on, cousin.
So,
I told you the bats are going to wake up eventually. I said they're going to score 12. They got 12 hits, 10 runs. So
yeah, very close line you almost got. Let's go to Houston playing the Blue Jays right now. Houston are favorites at home, -148 with Christian Javier going for them. Blue Jays, Chris Bassett +126. Over under is at 9.5. Think the total is spot on. Gun to my head, I would take the Blue Jays. Coming off that huge win, coming off a no-hitter, the Blue Jays are not going to get no-hit again. I would take the Blue Jays, if anything, on a bounce back here. But, yeah, no official play, but I think that the total is spot on, and I don't think they should be that big of a favorite, the Astros. So, yeah, nothing official here.
I don't know. With Javier on the mound, I think depending what the line movement is tomorrow, depending what they do tonight, I might have to take Houston. If the line drops a little more, I think I'm going to roll with Houston with Javier on the mound, but nothing official yet.
All right, and then last game on the slate, the LA Dodgers hosting the San Francisco Giants. Tyler Glass now getting the start for the Dodgers. Kyle Harrison taking the mound for the Giants. -218 for the home Dodgers, +200 for the Giants. Over under is at 8.5. Elvis, what do you like in this one?
I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna lean it. I'm gonna lean the over 8.5. I feel like the Dodgers could score some runs on the board. They could get to Harrison, and then with Miller on the opposite side, can the Giants score some runs? I think so. I'm gonna say Dodgers win 6-3.
Yeah, I took the over. I was able to get, when lines popped up about a few hours ago, I was able to get a 7.5. I took the over. I mean, that was just disrespectful. With these two lineups, yes, the San Francisco Giants got blown out 8-3 on Monday, but they're 5-0 towards the over, 13-4, 9-6, 8-3, 6-4. It doesn't matter if they're winning or losing. They're in high scoring games. So, and with both of these lineups, I think we're going to see a lot of runs in this series. So if the books continue to give you a 7.5, 8, even 8.5, I still like. We got winds blowing out. It's going to be a nice 65 day or 65 degree night in LA tomorrow. I think the ball's going to be fucking traveling. Don't know if the Giants are going to be able to get to Glass now, but like you said, I do think the Dodgers will be able to get to Harrison. So, yeah, I'm going to go over 7.5, over 8.5, whatever you're able to get. I do like them. All right, kid, that was it. Thank you so much for that. Let's go to the NBA. Now, I know before we started, lines are all out for today for just one game, right? Or two games. All right, cool. So let's talk about that first then. We'll start with the 8 o'clock game. There are 9 games on the slate. Not all the lines are up, but we'll start with the games that are up. Orlando Magic taking on the New Orleans Pelicans. Pelicans laying 4 at home. Over under is at 209. Right now, Magic sitting at that 5 seed. They're a half a game behind the Knicks for the 4th seed. And the Pelicans, they're sitting at the 6th seed, about a half a game behind the Mavericks right now. Orlando, they've won 2 games in a row, while Pelicans, they've lost 2 games in a row. A little bounce back spot here at home for the Pelicans.
Yeah, Del, I'm going to go with the Pelicans -4 back at home against the Magic. I just feel like the Pelicans are due for a bounce back. And let's not forget, Magic coming off a few home game stretches in the first road game on a road break. I just feel like the Pelicans are due. They just got blown out by not blown out, but, they were losing badly throughout the period times of the game against the Suns yesterday. I feel like Zion and company this is a perfect bounce back at home. Get a day rest today. Play the Magics. Even though the Magic been slipping as of late, past week to 10 days, I haven't liked their matchups as much. I think this is a bad matchup for them. Give me the Pelicans at home -4.
Yeah, and to be honest, they barely sneaked out a win against a very bad Portland Trailblazer team the other night. That was very worrisome. Yeah.
Plus 13.5. I'm telling you.
Yeah, that was kind of egregious. So good call on that. And then the other game that did have lines, a very good game, I think, going down in Phoenix. The Suns taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Suns laying 6 at home. Plus 200 for the Cavaliers. Over under is at 225. Suns, they're in the play-in right now, sitting at the 7th seed, but Sacramento's just a game behind them. The Lakers, they're just 2.5 games behind them. And the Cleveland Cavaliers are the 3 seed, but they're just a half a game ahead of the Knicks. They're a game ahead of the Magic. So these are must wins for Cleveland, but I don't know. I kind of lean the Suns here, kid. What do you got?
Yo, give me the Cavs plus 6 on the road. One thing that intrigued me yesterday, like I said, the Suns was blowing the Pelicans out, but the Pelicans were able to fight back. You know why, Dill? It's the fourth quarter. It's the fourth quarter. I don't know why, but the Suns just have tough time closing. They were blowing the Suns out. They ended up losing the third quarter, and then the fourth quarter, they just steered the boat. They tied it out 21-21 in the fourth quarter. I think with Cleveland, they'll win the fourth quarter, even on the road. So I think Cleveland, they keep it close. They lose in a tough one. I do think the Suns are the right side, but 6 points is too much. Give me Cleveland plus 6.
All right. Well, I want to get your thoughts on a few more games that don't have lines. Maybe you could give your own lines or thoughts on the game. We talked about your Brooklyn Nets taking on the Indiana Pacers. They covered the 12.5 on Monday. You got to imagine it's going to open up around 13, 14. Can you guys cover? They has to, kid.
I'm gonna say it opens up at 9.5, 10.5. Dill, just because we're at home, we got blown out.
It don't matter.
It kind of does matter, Dill. Come on now. So I'm gonna say the Nets gonna be a plus 9.5, plus 10.5 at home. To be honest, I think we bounce back there. I think we at least cover the 10.5. I'm not saying we win the game. All I'm saying is we play a little better basketball at home. We got blown out by the Pacers. I give you that. But I think we bounce back, at least cover this point spread this time.
Yeah, so on the money line at home, 17-24 Brooklyn. But like you said, against the spread, you guys are 19-15 against the number at home. Granted, most of those times you are getting a lot of points because
trust me, anything plus more than 10, especially at home, you got to take.
Yeah. All right. And then the other game I really wanted to get your opinion on, and I think that's going to be a really good game, a matchup of the 2 number 1 seeds. You got the Boston Celtics 59-16. They're 8-2 in their last 10 games. They're on a 2-game winning streak. So is OKC. They've won 2 in a row, even though the Knicks should have fucking beat them, but we won't go there. They're 7-3 in their last 10. I mean, 2 juggernauts. I'm very interested to see how much of a favorite the Celtics are at home. You got to imagine they'll be like a 4 to 6 point favorite, I would imagine. What do you think the number comes out, and who do you like here?
I'm going to say the Boston Celtics will be a 4.5, 5 point favorite come tomorrow. Dill, I'm gonna go with Boston, Dill. This is a long road trip for the Thunder. Like you said, they just snuck out against your Knicks. Tough game the other day against the 76ers. And I think this is going to be the hardest matchup of the road trip. I think Boston takes care of business at home. Can this be potentially a finals matchup? I doubt it, but I would definitely love to see this game tomorrow. Give me the Celtics minus 4.5, minus 5, 5.5. If it's to 6, I'll still like it. I wouldn't love it.
Yeah. Against the number, Boston at home 20-15, but OKC on the road 19-17 against the number. But Boston at home straight up 32-3. They just don't lose. They might not cover the number, but they just don't lose at TD Garden. They've only played each other one time, and it was in OKC. And OKC actually got the win as 4-point underdogs. They won 127-123. I kind of like the over. I think we see a lot of points. I kind of want to see what the total opens up. If it's anything under 240, 238-ish, I would hit the over. I think both teams are going to be able to score at will. So if anything, I know SGA, he's always kind of been questionable, but he winded up playing against the Knicks. I do think he'll wind up playing here against the Celtics. So yeah, I agree. I like the number. I do think it would be 4.5. If it does get to 6.5, Oh, it's very tempting. I kind of want to take OKC. By the way, have you seen that it's such a cringe commercial between SGA and Chet Holmgren? They're singing this song with T-Mobile, which March Madness. You've seen it, right?
No, I haven't.
What?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you got to look it up after this. It's so cringe. It makes me not like them, if I'm being honest.
I haven't watched it. I could tell it's a bad commercial.
Oh my God. Yeah, Chet Holmgren just like Shy doesn't look bad. It's Chet just looks so awkward. It's just so cringe.
It's a rookie year. Well,
yeah. But thank you, kid. Any last words before we get out of here?
Yeah, Dill, for the people that's watching right now live, thank you. And let me just give you a few plays for today on Tuesday. So Lakers taking on Toronto Raptors. Toronto catching 12.5, 12 at home. Give me the plus 12, 12.5 with the Raptors. The Lakers, they will take care of business, but they'll keep their foot off the gas, especially in the fourth quarter. I think a game like this, you want to rest LeBron, have LeBron play like 25 to 28 minutes, keep him under 30. They also have a back-to-back tomorrow. So give me Toronto plus 12, 12.5, wherever you could get. Dill, you're New York Knicks taking on the Miami Heat. Dill, give me the Knicks plus 3. I just think the Knicks are just a much better team than the catching points even though they're in Miami. Give me the Knicks plus 3 on the road. This is going to be a great matchup. Houston Rockets taking on the number 1 seed or the number 2 seed, 3 seed. I apologize. Minnesota Timberwolves. Give me Houston plus 8. I understand Minnesota is like that, but 8 points to the Houston Rockets. Come on now, it's still the best. They were the best team in March. I think they keep it rolling. Give me the Houston Rockets plus 8. I don't know if they sneak out a win, but plus 8 is too many points. And then my last game of the day will be the Los Angeles Clippers taking on the Sacramento Kings. Still, I'm gonna take the Clippers plus 3 on the road. I think they're live dogs as well, plus 118. The Clippers, they've been slipping on that. I think, like I said the other day about the Suns, I think we're going to see the Clippers finally start locking down, start playing that real good basketball. Give me the Clippers tonight, plus 3 on the road.
All right. Thank you so much, Elvis. Good luck on all your plays. That's going to do it for this Wednesday edition of the Dream Wager. On behalf of our sponsor, Viva Tequila, Elvis, myself, make sure you guys go follow along our social media, X and Instagram at the Dream Wager. You guys can find all of our episodes wherever you listen to podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher. We go live every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday on YouTube, youtube.com/The Dream Wager. Hit that like button, subscribe, rate, give us a review, comment below who you'll be betting on. All that good stuff really helps the show grow tremendously. So be a friend, tell a friend. Everyone have a great few days. Good luck on your wagers, and we will see you guys on Friday. Peace.